Greetings everybody, this is Sliced Lime, and as you know, if you follow me on Twitter, I've been playing a fair bit of Rocket League lately. And there's some simple rules that you can follow at the face-off and other situations that are the Rocket League equivalent of common sense, really, and I've seen them posted online in text form and with images and all kinds of things, but I figured I'd make a video to explain this, because surprisingly many drivers don't follow these rules. But if you do follow these rules when playing 3 vs 3 on face-off, then you'll simply avoid losing games to simple mistakes that happen directly off of face-offs. Let's begin with the basics. There are 5 different possible starting positions for you in a face-off, and that is random. There's one directly in front of the goal. This is the one furthest back, and then the other ones are symmetrically placed a bit out in sort of a V shape, so you can be placed close to the goal or you can be placed on the diagonal. Now, there are 2 very important things that need to happen in the setup regardless of where you get randomized as a spawn position, and that is, number 1, somebody goes for the ball, and number 2, somebody stays in goal. Now, why are these important? Well, because if you do not get a strike in on the ball, it is very easy for the opponent to get a very clean shot to just get the ball straight into the goal from the face-off. But even if you do get a shot in, face-offs are chaotic and random, so you may still have random bounces or a really good hit by an opponent, and you need a goalie, you need somebody in the goal. Even if you drive out too far, you will not make it back to protect your goal. Now, how do you set this up? Well, unless you're on voice comms, then there are the quick chat buttons, and you should be using them. Now, there are 2 ones that you should really be using. The first one is I got it. That indicates that you intend to go take the ball, which means that somebody else needs to stay back. The second one is defending or take the shot, which means that you intend to stay back. You do not intend to take the ball. Now, defending appears to be the most ideal one, but I've heard that it's translated very poorly, so in German it says the German equivalent of defend. So for anybody with the game in German, you're essentially telling them the opposite of what you think you're telling them, so I would urge you to stay away from that and use take the shot instead. Get used to handling those on the control, because you'll be telling them a lot and you need to have a muscle memory for how to do that quickly. In many cases, you don't even need to communicate. It is very clear who should stay and who should go. Use your controller stick or whatever that is on a mouse to look around and see if there's somebody behind you. Or you can look at the opponent team. They will always be a mirror of what your team is. If you are at the furthest back, you will always stay in the goal. You are not allowed to leave the goal. If somebody's behind you, you are definitely not the goalie. That person is, and you should drive out. If both the players are in the starting position like a triangle, then you have to communicate who takes the ball. If both players go for the ball, there are 2 bad effects. One is that you can sort of tackle and jostle about this first booster. Now, that is bad. If you tackle each other out of the way, nobody gets a good strike on the ball. The second is, it's actually fairly common that the ball just ends up laying around after the initial hit while players bounce out of the way. If you've then held off a bit, then you have a perfect striking opportunity to knock it into the goal, or at least away from your own goal. Finally, if you're on the diagonal and you're the only person on the diagonal, you're always going for the ball. That is because you have the closest strike on the ball, you will get there first. If you don't go, the opponent who is directly across from you will go and will get the strike on the ball alone. If there's 2 of you, the same thing goes. Communicate who takes the ball. The other person gets to either hang back and do the same thing as I talked about before, or go and get some boost or get ready for a rebound from the face-off. That is that, and I've actually seen a lot of online games with randoms lost because people couldn't follow these simple rules. If you're having troubles communicating with your teammates, then try to at least get the 2 things right. Somebody has to go for the ball, somebody has to stay in goal. If you get that done and 2 people go for the ball, then you're mostly fine. One more thing to note is that this first boost here is always the goalie's. If you're straight, you just go forward and then back in. You have time to get that before the shot will happen. And if you're in either of these positions, then you just sort of do an S shape backwards into the goal. You do not, in general, on a good strike, have the time to go and get any other boost. You just get your position in the goal and be ready. Once the face-off has happened, of course, you can drive out and get more boost, or change positions with another teammate if you have a preferred goalie in your team. There are a lot more intricacies to getting a face-off to go your way. But that is enough for this video. If you like these tips, then please help me out and leave a like on the video. And with that said, my name is Sliced Lime, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.